Welcome back, everyone, to ITTV, your number one spot for everything in the world of the Arkham universe, memes included. Um, so, uh, so today we're going to be talking about some recent updates that have come out about Rocksteady, but we're also going to be going over just some things that we kind of missed out on talking about for the last little bit. So, should we start with the new stuff or should we go over some of the old stuff?
Let's go over some of the old stuff and work our way up to the new.
Okay. So, update V version 1.3 came out for Arkham Shadow.
Yes.
Um, and this one has new game plus mode, a new post credit cinematic, new character viewer entries, which I can't remember who's in the thing, but who cares? Infinite combat mode, infinite predator mode, and numerous bugs and fixes. So, um, yeah, even though I have Shadow, I have not got the chance to beat the game yet. I've been slowly working my way through it, and I did see the cutscene, however, of the post-credit stuff. So if you don't want to know what happens, just click away from the video
Yeah.
and come back
Yeah, we're
later.
gonna yeah, this is a spoiler warning for you all who, don't watch news videos. The news will be told.
Yeah, and this is old news anyway, so
Yeah,
you
I
know
mean,
you had your chance. Anyway, so we'll talk about the post-credit scene first because this has some pretty big implications of where Camouflage could be going next with Arkham or just the franchise in general. So we get to meet Dick Grayson face to face and not in a rat mask. What's your
yeah.
thoughts?
I mean, it's cool. I'm glad
Yeah,
Dick Grayson he looks like 30, but, I guess
he kind of does look
he
old.
he doesn't look adoption age, but, I guess to each his own. I guess Bruce's universe in Arkham. I mean, I guess everyone has always looked a little older for some stupid reason. Barbara looks like she's 40 in Arkham Knight, and she's like 28.
Yeah, and Tim
So
Drake is pushing 60
yeah,
in
but
Arkham Knight.
pushing 70.
He's Jim Gordon age.
Dude, I swear to God, I referenced this to Marvel at some point on the Intensive Treatment podcast, and I was just like, I thought that the picture of Tim Drake and Barbara in the clock tower was a younger version of Jim Gordon. And I was just like, that's bad if I really think
That's
that.
as bad. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that Dick's getting more screen time too, because especially in the era of Robin, we only saw him as Nightwing, and even when we saw him as Nightwing, we really didn't get very much,
Not
unfortunately.
really. No.
So hopefully they do something with it. Hopefully we see him again in the Robin suit. So that'll be a lot of fun if that happens.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I was saying on one of our live streams we were doing recently, I forget which one exactly, but we were talking about the idea of them, spinning off from that post-credit stuff. And I think it would be really cool if we got a actual console Arkham Origin sequel to kind of follow up on, the stuff with him becoming Robin, and, maybe them actually being the dynamic duo and, kind of fleshing out their relationship. I think that'd be really cool. I feel like it'd be kind of like, I mean, obviously, I would want Camouflage to do more Arkham stuff. I mean, they definitely knocked it out of the park with this first one, but I don't want like the next true, like, canonical big major event happening in a VR game that nobody can play. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it'd be better if it just kind of teased what was to come for either a Rocksteady developed Arkham Origins sequel or maybe some other dev can take it on, something like that. But yeah,
Yeah. We'll see what happens, I guess, in the near to late future. I don't really know.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. And speaking of updates, there was a post put out, or I'm just kind of reading all these from Arkham
Yeah.
Video's
No, yeah,
Instagram
you're good.
page.
No,
Um,
that's what I'm on right now.
so, so there is a Game of the Year update that is also on its way. It doesn't say when exactly it'll come out, but it says coming in February. Three classic Arkham inspired Predator maps inspired by Quiet Waters, Natural Selection, and Silent Night, Extreme Difficulty, and I Am the
Oh,
Night mode. Ugh.
wow. Well, no one who wanted I Am the Night mode?
Nobody.
Nobody.
The answer is nobody.
That's insane. Um,
Unless it was like those other Arkham YouTubers like
yeah.
Adam Smith and stuff. Just like we want everybody else in the fan base is like, we don't want night, and that's
Yeah.
and camouflage is just like, we're just gonna put in I am the night anyway. So
They really, I mean, I really feel like for the Game of the Year update, they should have given us some alternate skins. I know people are saying that, oh, well, it doesn't make a huge difference because it's in first person, and to me, it makes a huge difference. Um, because you're supposed to be Batman, and what if I want to be Batman from the 70s? Like, I want to
yeah.
have that suit. I'm
Or
not gonna
maybe
feel like that in this,
or maybe I want to be mind controlled Suicide Squad Batman. You never know.
Right, like, why wouldn't you wanna just kill everybody in the
Yeah.
map?
Right.
But, I think the one obviously, the only one that's really worth for that I would be excited for is the 3 classic maps. And also, honestly, the extreme difficulty is kinda cool because I'd wanna see how far I can take, the difficulty on a game like this, especially because when I get it, I'll be a first-time player, so I'll definitely get the Game of the Year update,
Yeah. Absolutely.
immediately. So
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm excited for the majority of this, just not I Am the Night.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, why would I want to go through that hell again?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some Rocksteady related news. Um,
Yeah.
Firstly, is this post from Arkham Videos? The source is Bloomberg.com,
Yeah.
and apparently it says WB Games is facing leadership changes and a thin release slate. And it
Yeah.
said that in the midst of other stuff going on, like WB Montreal assisting on Wonder Woman, um, while they were pitching a Game of Thrones game, scrapping some other stuff like a John Constantine game and a Flash game.
Mhm.
Um, Avalanche focusing on a Hogwarts Legacy update sequel thing. Rocksteady is reportedly working on a new single player Batman game, but it's years away. So
I mean, let's dissect this piece by piece. So let's start with that. This has been something Marvel and I have been talking about for a little bit ever since Shadow came out, and there's been rumors when Rocksteady kind of said we're done with Suicide Squad, and we got the news that WB wanted to focus on Batman, as if they weren't already focusing on him enough. Um, but they want to focus on pushing out Batman games, and he's the main moneymaker for them.
right,
So as soon as that happened, Marvel and I were just like, all right, well, maybe we're getting another Arkham game. We made a couple of videos about that, which you can check out. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Marvel, I remember you saying initially you were like, if we are getting another Arkham game, it's going to be years until we get it. And lo and behold, what's the first bit of news that comes out from this
years
source?
away.
It's years away.
Away.
So, I mean, Marvel, it's funny because he has time and time again given his 2 cents on what he thinks going to happen in the future, and usually it happens. We were talking about, we had the whole Nintendo Switch thing, the Arkham trilogy, that happened. We've been protesting for an Arkham Asylum remake for a long time, and lo and behold, recently that was officially a rumor to be happening, and now this. So here we are. Here we are with
Yeah.
Marvel DC fan, the Oracle.
I'm not going to say that I see the future, but
He does. I'll say it
I,
for him. He
I'll-
does.
I see the future. But anyway,
No, it's
um,
like it's crazy that that it's just every single damn time. I'm like, okay, is Marvel's gonna be right this time? Might as well
Right.
just let him say what he has to say.
It's almost scary how accurate, like, like, I'm just saying it, like, in the moment, I'm like, "Oh, you never know, maybe they'll just, like, maybe after Suicide Squad fails, maybe an Asylum remake," and then the next day, it's just like, "Oh, fuck, that's exactly
Yeah.
what it is."
I think it's the only logical way for them to go anyway,
I
especially
mean,
because they're under WB's leadership. So, you know, what are they going to do? WB's not going to say do another game because they made 3 games that sold a shit ton and got critically acclaimed. So they're not going to do anything. And they know Batman's the moneymaker, as I always say. Batman
yeah,
is the moneymaker.
of course, right? Like, it's Batman's besides all the other DC characters that are really interesting and deserve video games, Flash, Superman, like Batman is the moneymaker, and it's been like
Yeah.
that for a very long time. So they're
Yeah.
just gonna go with what they know. And Arkham is still, like I keep saying, this is a very, very popular franchise, and they're gonna do something with it in some regard. And I mean,
Yeah.
we saw last year with not only Suicide Squad, which is connected to the series, but also Arkham Shadow, which came completely out of nowhere. So
Right.
they know where the money is, and
Yeah.
um, so I feel like if anything, we're probably going to get. I mean, an Asylum remaster. We haven't heard much since that initial rumor, but I still
No.
feel like that's a very big possibility. Just
Yeah.
as kind of like, I mean, remakes are popular these days, and
Absolutely.
with like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Metal Gear, all these franchises are getting new games remade for the new audience of people playing them, and I feel like um, an Arkham remake is just the next logical step, as opposed to, like, I mean, obviously we would talk about like an Origin sequel or a Night sequel or whatever, but I think that an Asylum remake would be the first possible step, I think, in that trajectory. So,
Well, even a game like Assassin's Creed 4, which I would have never thought would get a remake. Like, why would you remake Assassin's Creed 4? And I think it's like with Arkham, there's more of an ability to remake because there's only 3 games in the trilogy, and it's like, yeah, they're really old now. Assassin's Creed though has like 12 games, 13 games to its name. So
mhm.
it's like, oh well, the old ones are in the past, and they're just gonna keep making new ones, and they're just gonna keep popping them out. But if even they're doing it, I mean, I feel like it's only logical for WB to be like, yeah, we want a remake of whether they're starting with Asylum and going through to City, I don't know, but I think it's logical for them to at least give us an Asylum remake, especially because with all the new technology coming out for games, a lot of people are going to feel it's dated. I don't feel it is, but it would be nice to see that game with new mechanics for a new generation, sort of like how Resident Evil did it, where it's not changing everything, but it's tweaking things to the point where it's a nice change.
Yeah,
So I'd
I
like to
was
see
I
that.
was gonna speaking of Resident Evil, I was gonna say they should probably take a cue from their release schedule, like
Hmm.
how they did Resident Evil 7 in their new engine, and then the next game they did after that was Resident Evil 2 remake, and then it was like, okay, they split the team up. So, like,
Hmm.
one team would be working on, like, Resident Evil 3, and the other one would be working on Resident Evil 8, so I think it'd be kinda nice if whatever dev is just kinda split into even teams. One
Right.
team goes and does a remake, the other one goes and does a canonical sequel, and,
Mhm.
something that kinda pushes the story forward and whatnot, so I think, and I mean, you could switch off back and forth, A team could be doing Asylum and City, B team could be doing an Origins and Night sequel, like, you never
Right.
know, right? Like, it'd be kinda neat. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, hopefully, we've been kinda all over the place with how we feel about the Arkham franchise, and, one minute it's
Yeah.
like, we could go get another game, and the other minute we're like, "Oh, we don't really need one," or
Right.
it's like, "We don't really care what we get," or whatever, whatever. I'm, with the release of Shadow, kinda, like, spiking up my interest again, I would be I'm kind of excited that we're getting another game. You know, this is one of my favorite franchises in gaming, so
100%.
you know, I'm gonna buy whatever they put out. I bought a MetaQuest just for Arkham VR. That shows you how much I dedicated myself to this. So
Right.
you know,
And I'm the same way. Like I'll play whatever game has an Arkham tag on it. I will play it.
yeah.
Because I'm invested in this series, so we're both equally there. Um, so I'm eagerly awaiting whatever they have in store for the future.
So before we move on to the new piece of news, there's a couple things I wanted to mention about Arkham Shadow that I just kind of forgot about.
Mm.
One of them was an Easter egg that was found relating to Cyrus Pinckney.
Yes, yes.
There is a hidden grave you can find in the caves, um, which kind of which kind of goes back to what we saw in Origins with the whole Cyrus Pinckney storyline, and and it makes Batman question whether or not the grave that he saw in Origins was actually his real grave, which is kind of cool.
It's very cool. I mean, one of the redeeming qualities of Origins for me is the Cyrus Pinckney side storyline. Um, it's a great murder mystery. It's cool to see it unravel. And it harkens me back to when I was younger, when I just really loved Batman's detective stories.
Yes,
Um, so I think it's great that look, Camouflage surprised the hell out of me with like they know how to handle Batman. They really do. Um,
they did their homework. They really did their homework on the franchise,
Yeah,
and
and even just Batman as a character. I mean, his entire meeting with Dick Grayson that I saw is just like ripped out of a comic book. The way Bruce is
yeah,
talking to Dick, and his demeanor changes completely when he's talking to Dick Grayson. So
yeah, absolutely.
so Camouflage
And
surprised me, and I'm glad that you know Shadow is as successful as it got. Because I remember
speaking,
for a long time we weren't sure.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, I go back to those old videos we put out when Shadow was announced, and we were like, I mean, I had more faith in it than you did because I
Yeah,
knew about, like, I already knew that they put out Iron Man VR, and that was
right.
a really good game at the time. Like they knew how to make a competent superhero VR game. So, um, but I think they did an even better job than Iron Man VR. Like they seriously knocked it out of the park, and it
Yeah,
shows in the next thing we're going to talk about because Camouflage won the Dice Award for Immersive Reality Game of the Year.
yeah. It's crazy.
Insane.
And whereas it's not as popular in terms of like mainstream media as like a main Arkham title on a console getting a game of the year, this is huge in the gaming world. I mean, the, who would have thought? Honestly, I wouldn't. Not me.
Yeah.
Um, and it really speaks to the fact that the Arkham universe is just really well done. Honestly, it's well written for the most part. Um, and the ability to expand lore is like there's miles of availability. So there's so much to to build upon. So I think it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to the recent news that came out just only 13 hours ago at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
So it says that Rocksteady is hiring a game director, and the job listing hints at a return to third-person action, melee brawlers, and open-world traversal, core elements of the Arkham trilogy. With leaks suggesting another Batman game, it looks like the studio is returning to familiar ground, but don't expect news anytime soon.
Man, I mean, what can I say except you're welcome?
If it looks like an Arkham game, if it
It's
smells
an
like an
Arkham game.
Arkham game, it's an Arkham game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty for me, it's pretty set in stone of what we're getting right now.
I mean, yeah.
Um, I'm eagerly awaiting. I can't say I'm excited yet because, obviously Rocksteady's under new leadership. Um, and Suicide Squad was sort of under both the old and the new leadership. Um, so
The
I
old
don't
leadership that left like
that
halfway
left.
through.
Yeah. It's like I
uh,
can't do this anymore, mate. But
I can't do it. It's fucking over. It's just like
what was
shit.
I thinking?
Oh fuck! I can't believe you've done this. um.
But so no, I mean it's exciting to hear that Rocksteady is, you know, hiring a game director and job listing hints are, sort of hinting at the return to a third person action adventure game.
Yeah.
And open world traversal, that's cool. Like all that's it's just I mean, I'm pretty certain it's Batman. I mean, I don't think there's a doubt in my mind really.
Yeah. It's most likely Batman. Like it just at this point. I mean, they could be doing something new. You never know. But the way that the rumors have been going out over the last like 6 months or so, with WB kind of changing their hierarchy of what they're doing with their games division, how they're kind of focusing on Batman, even though they said DC Comics, but it's
Yeah.
mainly Batman. Like it just there's a clear end goal there, and it's only a matter of time till we get that piece of news whenever that may come out. It probably won't even be out this year.
Right.
So, and at the very most, it'll be the end of this year if we hear anything. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, I find it interesting that among the listings, it's got third person action, melee brawl, all that. Open world traversal speaks out to me. What do you think on this?
No, I'm with you. It does as well for me. Um yeah. I mean, honestly too, it's like I'm struggling to figure out what to say with this because it's like we don't know much and at this point it's just speculation. But I mean, I'm just excited to have a potential Arkham game coming,
Hmm.
really. And I mean,
Me too.
the fact that Rocksteady is doing it makes sense and you know, I have wanted to see other people's interpretations of how they would do Arkham, but I do harken back and remember that WB Montreal did a pretty terrible job at it. And the only one that did it good was Camouflage, and that's a VR game. So, yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place when it comes to different devs doing Arkham because WB Montreal, they did. A lot of people forget this. They did not only Origins, but they did Arkham City Armored Edition as well,
that's right.
which for the most part was fine. It's not the greatest, but it was
Right.
still interesting. Um, and then Origins was just kind of like everything that they just they could take from City and just kind of rework it slightly.
Yeah.
Like we've said billions of times, it was a placeholder game. It was a placeholder
Right.
until the next one was ready to go,
Yeah.
which uh, at that point was going to be the in 2014. So it wasn't like a super long wait or anything. It still felt forever, and especially with the delays and stuff. But it's just kind of it is what that was. And then there was also Armature who did Blackgate on 3DS and Vita. That's a game, I guess in the loosest sense. And then also there was also Virtuous who took the first two games and ruined them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to when it comes to a big series like this. Rocksteady was obviously the granddaddies, but
Right.
having it be on another dev team, I mean, it's always going to be a gamble, right? So you win some, you lose some, and more often than not, we lost.
Yeah.
But
We're
I'm really
still in
interested.
like a weird period too.
We are, yeah, yeah. But I'm really interested to see what Rocksteady's cooking up, whether it's a remake, whether it's a new game, something. I just want more Arkham at this point. I don't care what we get. We could get fucking the Blackgate sequel that nobody asked for, or we can get Origins remastered or Asylum remake and all this stuff. So, it's kind of all up in the air.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that's gonna cover it.
I think that's all the news
I
I
think,
want to
yeah,
say.
that sounds about right. So anyway, guys, let us know in the comments down below what you think of the news that we covered. Are you interested in the Shadow stuff? Are you interested in what Rocksteady's doing? Do we want the Blackgate sequel? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to
Yeah.
tune into our other playlists and stuff, our podcast, our penitentiary playthroughs of Arkham games. We're right now doing Arkham Origins, and we're also pumping out live streams like crazy. So enjoy, friends. But until next time, when more news drops, hopefully something significant drops, um, have a great night and stay locked up, of course. Take care, friends.